Foday Ajamu Mansaray is a Black American Pan-Africanist now living in Freetown, the capital of the West African nation of Sierra Leone. Mansaray is executive director of the Black Star Action Network International, which includes many expatriates from the Black diaspora who've chosen to live and work on the continent. The Black Star Network's latest project is called the Be Clean campaign.
The Be Clean campaign is a campaign that Basani, which is the Black Star Action Network International, as you said, it is a campaign that we have initiated here last year, October 2017, on the ground in Freetown, to combat and to raise awareness around the question of better sanitation and hygiene. We initiated it in reaction to what happened last year on August 14th, 2007, the tragedy known as the Mount Sugarloaf mudslide, whereas we lost thousands of lives, thousands of people lost their property and their homes. And Basani was able to be one of the first responder grassroots organizations to get there, to hold the people. We did a number of interviews to get the word out to the international world about how we can assist and what was really going on the ground with that situation. Immediately after the mudslide, because so many bodies were washed out to the water, there was an immediate fear of cholera outbreak. And so immediately our attention went to the markets. It went to the dirty areas. We had already been involved here since 2013 as Basani, organizing. We're a registered community-based organization here in Freetown, Sierra Leone. We are Pan-African. We would consider ourselves Garveyites in that we put our race first without any apology, without any compromise. We're in Africa. We put ourselves first here. And, we're just really pushing the organizing as well as trying to teach social entrepreneurship to people, how to connect, their issues with the resources that they need in a real creative way. So that's why I say social entrepreneurship, because it's a creative way for people to earn or generate or raise the resources and the support that's needed from abroad. And so Basani is an international entity that basically supports local grassroots initiatives towards development and improvement in Freetown. Since 2013, we had already been dealing with sanitation and hygiene. We had organized what you call community cleanups. Here they call them clean days, whereas you organize the people at the grassroots. We come together, we collect trash, we burn trash, we beautify the environment, we brush the cemeteries, try to repair the roads and things like that. It's the community labor, it's the community work, the voluntary work that we really are hands-on assisting the people and understanding how to do it in a better way. And so last October, our response to this most recent cholera scare was to launch the Be Clean campaign and just tie it all together. We were here doing Ebola as well in 2014 and 2015. And of course, we had to also promote better hygiene and sanitation at that time as well. And so it has become an ongoing campaign of Basani in Africa to push hygiene and sanitation. Hygiene-related illnesses, they claim more than 1.8 million lives in Africa each year, with 90% being children under the age of 5. And it's very, very bad, particularly here in Freetown, because you have malaria. And malaria, you have a strong relationship with filth, with waste, and water puddles. So this is why we try to keep the roads without having the ability to gather water. That's why we try to clean the trash at the market. So last year, we initiated the Be Clean campaign, first with a large community cleaning of the local cemetery in the Calabar Town area of Freetown. Last year, this time, this country was in the midst of the historic political campaign, the elections, that has just landed the opposition party, the former opposition party, the SLPP, the Sierra Leone People's Party, into power now in this country. And they're coming with some very, at least on the surface, appearing to be progressive moves. I've been here 5 years, so I've seen the last administration come to power, and I've seen this one come to power as well. And so it's amazing to see how differently the two parties are taking on their first few months in power.
That brings up a question. This Be Clean campaign is under the category of self-help, and certainly self-help is always laudable, but political work involves forcing the powers that be to fulfill their obligation in terms of social hygiene.
Yes, sir.
What kind of efforts are underway there?
Well, actually, when we started the Be Clean campaign, there was no cleaning happening anywhere in the country other than, maybe at small levels. So when we started the Be Clean campaign, it was in the midst of a very contested national elections here, and no one was doing it. So we decided that we would exert ourselves politically by organizing the community around an issue that we wanted politicians to pay attention to while they're competing with each other. And so we put the issue on the table. What happened was we was able to clean the community every last Saturday on our own in the midst of the campaign and make a lot of noise around it at the same time, to the point where we had one of 3 independent candidates who ran for parliament last year join us on our campaigning. He's a Pan-African brother named Kareem Ba. And we had just been utilizing the campaign to get the policymakers to see the issue. And so, to our surprise, when the elections happened in March and the new administration came to power in April, the first act that the president took was to initiate every first Saturday is monthly cleanings. Now, of course, that's not going to keep the whole country clean throughout the month, but what it is a definite policy change towards hygiene and sanitation that's saying that this administration cares about that issue. And we like to feel as though we played a contributing role to putting that out there at the right time, because as soon as it came to power, the first issue had become that. And when we first started our Be Clean campaign last year, there wasn't many people in the city doing that. And so it actually spread. Other people began to take control over their community markets and use the same campaign to push. And so the Be Clean campaign, we actually foresee it becoming more of a coalition as well. And then even a company or a business collective, something that can spark employment and things like that. So we're looking at the government to give us an audience so that we can try to work with government to see what kind of collaborative efforts we can do to fulfill all of the potential within just being clean, man, just saving our lives.
It's difficult to imagine who would be against being clean, but has this work stirred up any kind of opposition politically?
Well, politically, our work hasn't stirred up any opposition at first, other than in the very early parts of going out in the community to organize. There's community politics. Here in Africa, there's community politics that is not necessarily state politics. And just like in the Black community in the United States of America or anywhere else in the world where African people are, we have our communal politics. And the community politics around who has right to do what and who you have to ask first is very complicated in Africa, especially here right now in Sierra Leone, whereas we have almost 2 million people, over 2 million people within this one region of the country. Just to get a general idea over some of the things that we're looking at, this new administration is just bringing 9,000 new jobs. It's promised 9,000 new jobs in the next year. It's going to be 5,000 teachers, 3,000 medical workers, and 1,000 police. 70% of the nation is unemployed right now, with foreign aid reduced to over 40%. Reduced over 40% recently. And so we're dealing with 30% inflation. And just this one situation that's really going on, man, is these childbirths. It's a very big concern because 1 in every 3 girls between the ages of 15 to 19, they're either already a mother or they're pregnant right now. And so we're dealing with a crisis situation beyond health. And at the same time, we have to prepare for these children that's being born, these babies that's being born. We have to provide jobs for these young fathers, these young mothers. So Be Clean is not just about what we do physically to pick up trash from the streets. It's broader than that. It's really about us being clean in our moral character. It's about us being clean socially with one another, how we treat each other. And really, in terms of politics, it's about being clean in terms of corruption. Corruption is at the bedrock of the majority of the issues that we face here in Sierra Leone, just like everywhere else in the world. And this last administration that we've seen, they were one of the most corrupt that this country had ever seen. And people are very hopeful about this new government that at least is showing that it has interest in some of the issues that our people here really want to be on the table. 95% of Freetown's population currently is not even served by water supply utility. The entire city outside of the central business district is serviced by only septic tanks. The poor infrastructure and poor management of the roads is obvious everywhere you go in the city. So it's a very crisis situation. The Black Star Action Network International was created so that we can facilitate African unity in the 21st century. We were founded in Tampa, Florida in 2011. We were launched there in 2012. And since 2013, we have been based and headquartered in Freetown, Sierra Leone, where our movement has registered as a community-based organization. And we coordinate an international movement. We ask for the world to feel the pain of the child here in Freetown as well, and not forget that a little bit goes a far way here.
And how can people cooperate with you in alleviating that pain?
First of all, anyone who is looking to assist us, the Black Star Action Network International, you can go to www.gogetfunding, GOGETFUNDING.com/Be Clean Campaign. Again, I'll give it to you one more time. If you go there, there's a write-up. It's a brief write-up about who we are and what we do, as well as the links there for you to go ahead and make your donation and make sure that we can get the tools we need. We're able to provide the pamphlets that we need. We're able to get the prints that we need. We're able to really go hit the streets and continue this campaign and make sure that people don't slip on their sanitation and hygiene, and we keep it going. So